Hello everyone. This week, Chartered Institute of Housing put in its submission ahead of the autumn statement. I'm joined by David Pipe from our policy and practice team. David, it's been an interesting few weeks for the sector in terms of the language that the government's been using on housing in terms of affordability. Just how promising would you say the signs are for the housing sector?
Yeah, so as you say, it has been an interesting few weeks. We've had the Conservative Party conference last week, and what's been interesting, I guess, is the way the language has shifted a little bit around affordability. So, government has talked for quite a long time about the fact that we've not been building enough homes. We know that we need to build around 250,000 or so per year to meet need. And in the last figure that we've got, last year that we've got complete data for, the number of net additions was only 170,000. So we're a long way short of that. And government has been, I think, recognising that for a while now. They've had an ambition to build 1 million homes over the lifetime of this parliament. But what we've tended to see is them talking about achieving that almost entirely by building for home ownership. What we've seen over the last month or so is maybe a slight shift in language. Government has looked a little more willing to talk about building for a wider range of products, including building more homes to rent. That's really positive, I think. In terms of the change in their rhetoric. But what we're hoping to see now, particularly the autumn statement, is some of that rhetoric translating into action and into actual policy change.
Yeah. So, as you said, 170,000 completions in 2014-15. How many homes do we need, do you think, and how important is it that we build those?
Yeah, so we need around 250,000 per year in England alone. And we've been a long way short of that, not just under this government and not just in the period since the 2009 financial crash. This is a long-standing problem. For decades now, we've consistently built well short of the number of new homes that are needed. What we really need now is a substantial increase in the number of homes that we're building, and for that to be sustained over the long term as well. So we're looking really for a long-term plan to build many, many more homes every year.
Okay, so we put our submission in ahead of the autumn statement on Friday. What have we asked for to make sure that house building actually happens?
Yeah, so the critical thing, I think, is that we know that we won't be able to build homes in those kind of numbers if we're only building homes for people to buy. And partly that's because the private house building sector simply won't have capacity to build at that kind of level on its own. Historically, we've only built in those kinds of numbers when we've also had the public sector building in good numbers as well. And it's also about the fact that we know that private house builders can't build homes quicker than they can sell them. So there's a natural limit to the number of homes that you can build for sale. So if we want to increase house building to those kind of levels, what we need to do is build for a wider range of products. That includes building affordable homes to rent. So what we've suggested in our submission ahead of the autumn statement is a number of measures that would increase the number of affordable homes to rent that we're building without costing a great deal of money. So, for example, government is already committed to spending about £2 billion a year on the Affordable Homes Programme, but at the moment that money is almost entirely earmarked for starter homes and for shared ownership. So we've said that giving housing associations and local authorities a bit more freedom to decide what they build, a bit more freedom to use some of that money to build for rent would help. Another thing is we know that local authorities' ability to build has been really severely reduced in recent years by a combination of both the 1% rent reduction and limits on the amount they're allowed to borrow. So we've said that we think individual councils should be allowed to enter into a deal with government whereby they're allowed to borrow more money, they're exempt from the remaining years of the 1% rent reduction, and in return they promise to build a certain number of homes.
We've also recognised in our submission that regeneration could be a key way of getting the homes that we need. What have we asked for on that?
Yeah, so I think regeneration is often a really good way of delivering new homes. Organisations we've spoken to in the past about this have often been bringing brownfield sites that haven't previously been used for housing into use. Others have been regenerating areas and rebuilding them at a higher density than previously, so putting more homes into the same space. So it's often a really good way of delivering an increased number of homes. Government, I think, have recognised that and have previously put £140 million aside as a loan fund to kickstart more regeneration projects, and that's really welcome, but I think we feel that it's not a large enough pot of money for the number of estates that they'd like to transform. So we've suggested that they should increase that fund by up to a further 300 million.
Another key battleground of ours has been obviously homelessness. We sort of do plenty of work to try and to reduce that, what is an increasing problem. We know as well that the ending of a private sector tenancy is the leading cause of homelessness. What have we asked for in the autumn statement to tackle that problem?
Yeah, that's right. So homelessness is rising in England, and as you say, the ending of a private rented sector tenancy is the number one cause of homelessness. So what we've asked for is for government to do more preventative work, working particularly with those who are in danger of repeat homelessness, who are living in the private rented sector. So we've suggested setting up a £15 million social impact bond scheme to fund preventative work. So the way that that works is that investors essentially fund the upfront costs of trying to do more homelessness prevention work, stop people becoming homeless in the first place, and then if that work's successful, they get a financial return that's based on a kind of payment by results basis. So the money that they are saving local authorities in not having to pick up homeless cases later is used to make those payments.
Okay, well thanks David. You can read the full submission on our website www.cih.org. Thanks for watching.